My name is Craig Cardiff. I am in Kelowna currently. Just will make my flight to Vancouver fine. It'll be great. I'm sitting here. We've just had a wonderful breakfast visit.
All your little problems clear written down.
What I like doing is when somebody says they're a fan and they would love to play, they would love to have me come perform, to work with them. And if there's not a venue that makes sense, then we'll host it in a living room like this one. And that's how I started playing in a lot of places in Kingston and Ottawa or Montreal, and then just eventually connecting with enough people who are interested in the music to take it to a bigger space if that's warranted.
Fall asleep inside. You're the one. You're the one. You're the one.
There's lots of great agencies who help connect with shows and who do a great job of the networking piece. But I also think it's important for artists to be able to own as much of that as possible. It's like to be able to know that you have a fan list and a fan base that you're actually connected with, as opposed to a bunch of people show up at a show at a bar on a particular night and you have zero connection with them that's real. Mm-hmm. The one thing I often say is just the idea of like, it'd be nicer to have a closer relationship with 5,000 people mm-hmm. spread out over a country than it would be to have a fleeting conversation with a million. So, and just lastly, looking at you as an independent musician, a lot of people look at you and would say, "Wow, you got a great following. You've really built something great." What would you attribute that to? Because there's thousands of other white guys with beards with acoustic guitars that are trying to do the same thing. What would you? Well, I just think, and they're probably better guitar players than I am, which is the hurtful true thing. I would say that I don't know. I would say just to know that it's a lot of hard work and to try as often as possible to be happy with what you have instead of like what could be thing. I think that people want this idea of like I'm really happy that I'm able to cover bills and be a parent and have some autonomy and control over my career or like my job, and so I just feel very lucky for that, and I think that helps in terms to be in that space and be grateful, so that it's rather than being in a place of like, well, it'd be great if it was bigger, it'd be great if it was blah blah blah, because I think that can it's very distracting, and anything that is good is not enjoyed. In terms of musicians, I feel like they're all really simple, small steps for building. Like, connect with fans, find 20 friends of yours who support you, who are spread out, and ask them if they'll host house concerts and see how that feels. And if at the end of it feels good and you've broken even, great, and then go back and do it again. I think that there's a lot of people who feel like if they're not doing their art full time, that it's not. They're not doing it, and I think that notion should be challenged. I think that everybody is passionate about something. Everybody writes poems or paints or sings, and so kind of redefining, like, it's great to be a lawyer during the day and to be a stellar world-class mandolin player at night, if that's what you choose to do, and not to think that one needs to pay the bills in order to qualify. It's like how you define who you are. That's great. Thanks a lot, Kurt. No problem.
Your hair grows gray, I stay wet. Fall into bed, turn out the light. Fall asleep inside your